never felt so alive in my life. 'Cause you make me come to life every time I'm free. Oh, and I'm loving all that you do. Can't you see that I'm crashing right into you? Crashing right into you. I'm free. Oh, and I'm loving all that you do. Can't you see that I'm crashing right into you? Yeah, I'm free falling. Can you hear me calling, calling for you? Yeah, I'm free falling. I'ma keep on falling, falling for you. I'm free. Oh, and I'm loving all that you do. Can't you see that I'm crashing right into you? I've never felt so alive in my life. 'Cause you make me come to life every time I'm free. Oh, and I'm loving all that you do. Can't you see that I'm crashing right into you? That I'm crashing right into you. I'm free. Oh, and I'm loving all that you do. Can't you see that I'm crashing right into you? Yeah, I'm free falling. Can you hear me calling, calling for you? Yeah, I'm free falling. I'ma keep on falling, falling for you. I'm free. Oh, and I'm loving all that you do. Can't you see that I'm crashing right into you? That I'm crashing right into you. Somehow I woke up out in Beverly, fucked up, smelling like that bourbon, and I end up alone. I'm not certain. Yeah, the girls impolite in the club every night. That's how it goes when you Hollywood perfect. Hollywood perfect. That's how it goes when you Hollywood perfect. Hollywood perfect. Ain't got no place to call my own. Feels like I'm better off alone. So sad. These Hollywood hoes never notice. Can't get back on. Girl, I miss you. Can't get back on.
Is a banger of a game, sir.
I'm feeling great. I am a little bit sad having our beautiful host of Lisa not being here. Fortunately, she will be here next time. I believe that is going to be a Wednesday next week. But before we get started on that, I think yesterday went incredibly well. I'm super proud of all the players. And do we even want to talk about the watch party afterwards?
The watch party definitely lived up to the expectations of anything goes. We had our lovely Rusty providing all of the information that you could ever want, need, and everything external to those two things as well. And yet, here we are looking towards the standings. Picked up the dub, most importantly, partially off the back of Rusty himself. 2-1, tied with what feels like the entirety of the league. So, how does that set us up here, Zach?
Well, it should set us up for a pretty good situation coming into this season so far. Because remember, we are trying to get top four, trying to get ourselves into those playoffs so we can get back to EMEA. And now we're against Ruddy Esports, who are sixth place. I think we have a very good opportunity to get ourselves even higher today.
Absolutely. Don't be deceived by the scoreline. Again, very early on, it does take a little bit for things to start to shake out. A very qualified team This is a team who is going to be pushing us quite a ways in this game, I would suspect. And so trying to lead us on into this challenge versus Ruddy, players, got our highlights of solo lanes, of course, the ones who are in their own lanes, doing their own things, but who is really continuing to fulfill the Nativz dream here, Zach?
Well, I think we have to start off with the jungler, of course, being the player of Jakey. He is a 25-year-old, somebody who gives more stability to this team. And that's the main reason he's been picked up, because in these old times of season 14, match changes, item changes, Baron changes, it's basically a whole new game at this point. You want somebody who has that comfortability of having changed for so long in League of Legends that you bring in a player like him, because he's played for over 18 different teams and he has been around the block to say the least. But he's been an absolute powerhouse playing in stuff like Hit Point Masters. And he's just been a jungler where when you want somebody to just keep you safe, keep you on the reins, it is going to be Jake. And it seems to be working out as we already are 2-1 in the standings.
Yep, winning record so far, able to try and start building this big war machine forwards, like you said, top four being the cutoff. But rounding this out is going to be the bot lane. First component of this, our very own Rusty Sniper, best AD carry in Sweden by my metric, both on mic, in game, outside of that, able to have somewhere in the middle of these, kind of the veterancy, the youth, the energy. He's played for people like Uniq. He's been playing for even the other sides of Lions Creed, London United, J-Lings squads that he's performed. So the Turkish 80 carry player looking to, or sorry, continue to march on forwards.
Yeah, and that's a big thing for Rusty Sniper is he's been in the depths of Division 2 for so long now. And I believe for quite a few seasons beforehand, he deserves this big jump up. And I believe that Nativz is the perfect place for him. Of course, winning Division 1 last time, we'll have to see if Rusty Sniper can do an even better job. However, he is going to be paired up with an incredible support in the bot lane of Shari Katami, somebody who does hail from the Turkish place you talked about before. And he started his days back at Supermassive Academy, if you know players like that. He had his big break at Galacticos in Division 1 of Turkey. Then after a few seasons in that Turkish league, he is going to join us at Nativz. And he was actually the first member that the Nativz team behind the scene actually thought they wanted for this roster, because he has just been so consistent and he is the main shot caller for this team.
Main shot caller, even spiking his way up in solo queue. I was doing a little bit of scouting out on these squads. I believe he is still ascending in GM and even higher beyond that. Highest ranking of the squad. So in terms of someone who you want to put your faith in, if you want to kind of back, okay, this guy knows what he's doing and these are calls that I'm willing to follow and put my body on the line for, this seems to be a player that you're more than happy to follow.
Yeah, and I'm really excited to see what they're going to do in the spot lane, because when we saw them last game, we saw plenty of roams coming out from Shoei Katami where he left Rusty Sniper on his own to be able to farm up to the late game. As when we had the interview yesterday, remember what he said? He was like, I don't want anyone near me. I want to get to late game and I want to carry that way. So it gives a good opportunity for Shoei Katami to show what he can do on the top side of the map. And we saw some incredible plays around the new scuttlers up on the top side where they got those big advantages and got themselves the win yesterday.
Yep, picking up the win and looking to carry that forwards, taking on Ruddy, as you yourself mentioned. And so, kind of highlight a little bit while we have just a moment or two before we're going to be slamming on into draft. What are we looking for out of this particular clash?
Well, from this particular clash, I still believe that we are going to be heavy favourites coming into this, because Ruddy Esports has picked up a win beforehand against Verdant, who is in pole position, however, being 2-1, shared between 5 different teams. So I'm not so sure how great that is, but they have already had a loss against Nord Esports and lost against Lions Creed as well. Compared to us, who are 2-1, so I think we're quite good favourites against them. And I think we just keep doing the same. I think we just have a great scaling carry for something like Rusty Sniper to go on and allow Shai Katami to try roam up a little bit more than he did before and get our leads through that way.
Strong words coming out on that front of strong favorites, heavy favorites even. Is that something
Confidence.
that you're willing to back up, knowing that there might be a couple members of the Ruddy staff lurking in assorted Twitch chats and Discords, etc., that will love to clip that, pin that? Are we willing to stand on this and say heavy favorites? We're looking to go?
I'm just more disappointed you're not here ready to stand with me by my side. We're the Nativz cast. I feel like if there's anyone who is going to be behind this team for the whole split, it has to be us. And I am ready to see Native not just win today, but win the whole split.
See, that was it's called framing, right? I was trying to let you have the question, double down on it, because I'm here to go. Absolutely not close. This game ends in 22 minutes tops. Clip this, ready to go, and pin this up everywhere. Nativz has this one in the bag. I'm ready to defend this, and I know the casters, the other NLC guys who are willing to kind of put their bets, 2 points here, 3 points there. Nope. 5 on Nativz and looking to continue on forwards, and we're where we're supposed to be right now. Look, see how we have the first and everyone else has a dash below it? I think that speaks for itself.
Yeah, but there is going to be one interesting statistic, though. We may be 100% for Nativz to win this, but back in 2023, when we did win the regular season, we did actually go 2-2 against Ruddy Esports. So it's actually a full 50-50% split. So whoever wins here today, it's going to have a positive win rate in 2024.
Yep, looking to try and make that tiebreaker. This is only week 2, so again, still plenty to play for towards the end, but to make it, this is basically the 5th game of a best of 5. If we're
Oh, yeah.
2-2 apiece, and we're playing a BO1 today by my math, 2-2, 4, 4, and 1, 5, winner takes all in this one?
Yeah, and I'm still curious about if this is a 5th game, what do you really actually want to pick up for this game? Do you want to go for something a little bit more safe? Because the way I know Nativz to play, I think they're confident. I think they pick whatever can get them to win, no matter how crazy it was. Because even in the last game against Venomcrest, when they picked something like the Heimerdinger in the bot lane, I didn't think anything was sweating on the side of Nativz. They instantly knew what to pick up that Karma in the bot lane, and it kind of gated everything the side of Venomcrest do. So I'm going to be really curious to see what Nativz have in the bag behind the scenes to counter everything that anyone tries to throw at him, especially Ruddy.
Do you want to make any particular like highlights? Because I know I will get the elephant out of the room. Yes, Smolder is live. Yes, Smolder is just gonna press Q for 45 minutes and turn up later on with his mom. Not available. So I want to say he's out of the way. Elsewhere on the map, is there anything that you expect to see out of any of these players in particular?
Well, I've got this pick that I'm still waiting to come out, and I'm not sure if any teams are going to bring it out. Have you seen the Karma buffs in solo lanes? Because of course we got to see Karma yesterday, we got to see in the support position, and the big buff for Karma is going to be 20% extra AP on her Q ability, which means in the late game, I did the maths, big brain as ever, 300 extra damage, and that isn't even on the Marcher Q, which means that she can deal almost 1,000 damage on just one Q. So that's a huge amount of poke. So I'm really interested to see if maybe our top laner of Smurfay might come out with the Karma top, because I genuinely believe it's busted.
Karma, okay. I'm with you on the Karma train. I also think it provides something that I'm a massive fan of in Flex, of just locking something in early and then having the ability to manipulate drafts based on how you see fit. Top, tank Karma, dead, stay dead. I don't want anything to do with that. No. Top, get it out of there. Mid, however, I will completely defend. Like you said, AP ratios ticking up, so it incentivizes some of these more horizon focused builds. Obviously, you still provide the Mantra E for the massive shielding. Play it with carry junglers. I know Xin Zhao was really gaining traction, so he's something that is a fantastic pairing that I have seen played in many different tiers, all the way from the very depths of your solo queue all the way up into some of these more organized professional leagues. I would say Karma could be an interesting pick. Other solo lanes that I haven't seen as much is more of these rock champions that are a bit more stable that let you get spicier in the bot lane. Heimerdingers, Xin Zhao obviously making presence, but isn't a bit more high risk and high reward as opposed to these rock champs.
Yeah, and the main reason that you want this high risk, high reward is when you're getting yourself into the draft, you want to pick something that can win you the game head on. That's why you like to see stuff like the Azir getting picked super early, because it is kind of like a rock. It has that safety, but has that late game scaling. It can do really a lot in the mid lane. There's nothing really to counteract it compared to something like a Malphite, a rock champion in the top lane. You can just pick a Fiora. You can pick something that scales up against it, even side like a Kayle, where it's just going to have the time of its life if you pick it later on. So I feel like in this current meta, there's no real point in picking these big rock champions.
The other one that I'm surprised that you haven't been able to touch on is your very own Cosmic Vagabond, the Caretaker.
I'm ready.
Why are we not seeing the Bard? This champion just autos you twice, hits you with a Q, and you're just 1 HP. Like, why is not this being prevent?
Well, I think it has to do with the Blood Song changes. Of course, they're giving every support just lethality items up the wazoo. You could just kill anyone you've ever wanted. But the main reason we haven't seen Bard is if you don't play it, you probably are most likely not going to be picking up that champion. And I think somebody like Nativz could actually really benefit from it. Because when we saw last game, the Jin can get paired super well with it, where when it has these good roams, it can make so many plays, have so many unique angles around the map. Because I do believe, if I'm not incorrect, it has about a 54% win rate in solo queue. And for me personally, a Bard main, I have a 70% win rate in Diamond 2. That champion is not okay, but I feel like that's the whole new season. Season 14 is the time of changes and the time of just, to be honest, just broken stuff.
You say broken, I say needs tuning. You say OP, I need work in progress here. And it is very funny to say that where it used to be 10 people bot lane, everybody pile in your Shens, your jungle roams, your mid roams, everyone hang out there. But it feels like as it's developed and people are starting to get on top of items and strategies and grubs, get bot lane ahead? Absolutely. But then bring the bot lane up. No, you're not going to the prize, you're bringing the prize to you. Fight for those grubbins. Fight for the heralds. As much as I've seen that game just deteriorate around a herald, both piloting and acquiring it, it's more how can you utilize your bot lane elsewhere instead of be utilized by your bot lane, it feels like.
Yeah, and that's the big issue I believe Rusty had when we interviewed him later on. We said before that he just wants to scale up. He thought the Void Grubs would make it where top lane is going to have more priority because, of course, you'd think they're nearer to the objective. Just have them fight for it. Instead, it's get bot lane ahead, move them up, and then win that way. And that's one thing the Nativz have been very good at is moving up their players towards the top side and going for these Void Grubs. Because a lot of people in this new season have been trying to figure out how useful they really are. And it really depends on your team comp. If you're very good at taking these towers and you want to play a good 1-3-1 split, that is when you want to start taking these Void Grubs even more. Compared to teams that are just looking for this big team fight, are looking to start stacking these dragons, that is when you expect them to not really go up as much, instead trying to get gold in the bot lane already and start trying to stack these dragons instead.
Yep, stacking dragons, trying to trade. It feels like it is a known kind of pairing almost, or a handshake, I suppose, between blue side grubs, red side first rake, fight for the grubs the second time if that does happen, or just trying to continue the handshake. But as we are continuing this strategy, we will be loading into Champion Select drafts on your screen for the very first and very last game. Nocturne banned again. Please just let Jakey play it. It definitely won't lose you the game.
No, I mean, you saw it last time. It looked absolutely horrible to play against because it just engages. There was a smidge bit of damage, but it's mostly just that whole entire fear where you can't see anything against it, allowing Nativz to be a little bit more coordinated compared to these teams. Remember, this is only the second week together, so a lot of people are trying to get their footing. So we are just going through these bans quickly as possible. As Ruddy Esports do take away the rail, we know that champion has just been in this meta for 2 or 3 years at this point, going from the jungle and support role.
Yep, for the audiobook listeners among you who set the phone down, put them in the headphones, and start cooking dinner or what have you, it is a Zir, Nocturne, and Rel banned out on the blue side, paired off against a Seraphine, a Yone, and a Rengar. However, picks coming through Varus Blue 1, R1, Ashe R2 of this Control Mage style. Victor, Ashe, range on range on range so far.
Yeah, the Vals get first pick. We did actually see this yesterday by Venom Crest. It got a little bit negated by some of these picks. Ash is a very good counter into it, does have the range to counteract it, and that crystal arrow whenever Varus uses his, use it against him, and kind of just makes it a little bit awkward to play. As Ruddy Esports have picked up the Zing Zhao, and with the Rumble in the top side, again, some heavy aggressive laners are trying to get as much push pressure as possible to maybe allow Zing Zhao to find these engages, especially in this early game, compared to Nativz, where it looks like they just want to scale to this late game with Aatrox in the top side to just be that defensive wall, which isn't going to be winning out against the Rumble, but can definitely stay safe against it.
Yeah, see, this is the pop quiz. Name a lane that actually beats Rumble.
Um, Galio. Galio's actually not too bad into it because of the magic shield, except for that, I don't think there is any.
Nope. Champion with no resources and permanent push is going to be fantastic alongside this jungle pickup. Natty Nat looking to get in your face, right? We talked about that. We highlighted the Zinzao in advance, looking to scrap it out, trying to make sure you're moving into your jungle, bully with the early damage. And yes, it will be difficult to exploit the Aatrox passive healing through the roof, especially more so once level 6 comes through, but you will be able to push and you will be able to duke it out for those grubs on the side of Ruddy.
Yeah, and with their team comp so far, we're looking at a big, heavy team fight comp, especially with the Rumble getting paired up with something like a Zing Zhao that wants to go straight in. But they don't really have any look-up CC to make that Rumble ultimate burn for a while longer. So that real bag coming out from the side of Ruddy Esports is a little bit questionable for me because of how well we know it wants to work together. As they just do finally pick up their jungler, it is going to be that Vi, meaning it's going for a little bit more of a poke comp from them, trying to snipe someone off.
Yeah, more of a pick comp for sure here. It also means that the Varus is on some very unstable ground. He has CC of his own, but no mobility. Vi could not care less about your CC and will get to you one way or another for good or ill. So looking to try and get on top of Silky's math. However, an Aurelia hover with a second or two left. Is this something into the Aatrox?
I actually believe it has been locked in, and the Rumble, if this does happen, most likely going to go towards the mid lane, and then you're going to have the Irelia up top side. And to be honest, this Irelia can go wherever you want, because top side can dash in and out of Aatrox, meaning those Qs are going to be very difficult to land. And even in the mid lane, early on into the game, yes, you might get poked out a little bit. At that level 6 mark, you have just so much priority. And Ruddy are going for this scrappy fight. They want to find these picks, and they are going for an early game aggressive team comp compared to Nativz, where they need a little bit more defense. They want to make sure to keep their AD carry in the mid lane of Rusty Sniper Nulu safe. And I think Braum could be a great option for that because he can take that Blitzcrank hook. He does have the stun coming up if Rusty Sniper goes in. And from what I'm seeing, it really comes down to if Ruddy can get stuff going in this early game. Because if this team falls behind, they're not just going to fall behind. I think they're going to be completely just taken out.
Yeah, they're not falling behind, they're falling apart if this doesn't come through. It is going to be the Aurelia slid into the mid lane up against this Victor. The double Freljord bot lane providing CC, and yes, Ruddy have announced they will skirmish. They will absolutely love to just run in, duke it out, these 2v2s, these 3v3s, playing off of blitz hooks or chains or such and such. But in a AoE team fight, it does feel like they need to have that lead that you mentioned.
And with that lead, I'm expecting Ruddy Esports to most likely be playing around this top side. The main reason I actually expect this is because they can't get priority down in the bot lane. Varus just doesn't have enough wave clear compared to something like an Ashe and Braum that can constantly push that out. Compared to mid lane as well, you have something like the Aurelia that can just go in and out, can get yourself so close and get yourself to start moving around the map. And with the priority top side, expect a jungler of Ruddy to try and constantly go into the enemy jungle and make it a horrible day for Jakey.
Yep, trying to just get whatever he can. Even in that last game this week, we saw chickens hotly contested, running in with your mid push and fighting it over those wraiths. Consistently trying to bully in boxes. That is the lowest committal camp, to be fair. You can run in, try and smite a chicken away, take a couple of little chicken dippers on the way on out. Maybe that could be the case for the side of it, but like you said, grin, bear it, and hold on out. For our side, we will outclass them later on. If you hold out, Ashe, Victor, it becomes the little brother, big brother situation where you can kind of just, no, you stay out here, you will get hit with skills on the way in, and you must just deal with this later on.
Yeah, I think we start turning the tides when it gets to those 2 items. 3 items is going to probably be the most comfortable spot. However, I'm not sure how long it is going to be taking us to get there. So expect a little bit more of a defensive early game coming out from our teams. And one benefit is, even if we are going to be the strongest in an all-out 5v5 team fight, remember the amount of pick opportunities we have, especially when this level 6 happens. We have the Vi who can just get herself right into the backline. Remember, you got that crystal arrow as well that can find these picks. So maybe with a little bit of outmaneuvering, maybe with just a few good wards coming out from the side of the Nativz, there's definitely a possibility to find our leads by getting these picks.
Absolutely. And I like that you differentiate between those two kinds of engages because, in my eyes at least, there is a very big difference between, say, a Sejuani engage or a Zac engage. The difference between a Vi or an Ashe in this case, where if you throw an Ashe arrow and it's not a great play, who cares? The CD comes up, you walk back to your tower, you respectfully play without. If you take a Vi engage and it is not a great play, that is a lot more dire of a situation. So trying to fish with those arrows might be able to set up the Vi for, all right, Varus is actually caught out here. Now we pull the trigger and we go on it.
Yeah, and I'm going to be really curious to see how much attention we're going to see from Jakey towards the bot lane of the side of Nativz, because I'm expecting Blitzcrank to try and push out the wave as much as possible, try and roam around the map, get things done, compared to Nativz, where I want them to try and make it hell for the AD carry on the side of Ruddy. I want you to constantly keep diving him, making sure that he isn't having a fun time, and maybe give an opportunity for your Ashe, who probably isn't the best at being the main carry, but can definitely help out these fights if you can take it slow. So it feels like the way that Ruddy want to play is they want to use all their ultimates together and find plays like that, compared to the side of Nativz where they just want to, take these engages, back off, and then find that re-engage.
Yep, try and play this disciplined, respectful style. That being said, is it bot lane that we're trying to just continue to hammer down? I know we were kind of highlighting the fact that we're moving up towards Grubs. Is that what we're looking before we send on into draft?
I think so. I think as wait a second.
Or, hear me out, we can just start the game 400 gold richer as First Blood appears on our screen, your Uber Eats is here, and Jakey recon out with 400 gold.
I'm not sure if that's a jungle diff, a team diff, or just a Nativz diff.
That is all of the above rolled into one. Thank you very much. Longsword for the clear.
Okay, now I have something very curious to ask. So we see up top 5,000 or 500 gold lead for us, even though it says only 0.4k on the
Assists.
jungle for us.
Assists.
That makes
There's a split gold all the way across these assists because you see Nativz are a team, right? This is all for one and one for all. This squad picked up 4 assists and a kill on that first one. This wasn't a random pick. This was an organized team play.
So they're just more big brain than I am. But after this first click, no flashes or ignites have been expended by everyone. So it is just going to be a kill from the side of Nativz. It is actually going to be in a pretty good position on being on the side of JQ. Because remember you talked about before, Vi needs this engage to work to make sure that she doesn't die straight away afterwards. And with an extra kill is going to be a very, well, it's going to be a lot easier than it was before to find those kills, as we do see her pathing down towards this bot side, as it is going to be paired against Xing Zhao, who's doing the exact same.
Yep. Vi ult is often a one-way ticket here, as we see the Aatrox and Rumble. This is going to be your experience for quite a while of anytime you look for that passive auto, you will be eating the Flame Spitter. The Ignite to double down on that here. Built is looking to bully.
Yeah, and it's actually a nice play coming out from Nativz, getting themselves a stack of weight in this bot side. I'm expecting them to do this as they push this out, try and go for a reset, and then look for a freeze afterwards. We said before that we're expecting Vi to try and find a gank in this bot lane early on. They are going to be able to set up this freeze. That could be a good possibility to find a gank. We do see Natty looking for the top side to do the opposite thing.
Murphy, you have a flash. Level 2 is going to be trying to fight his way out of this one. Natty Nat waiting for the arrow to tank up. Flash forwards is able to pick up the aggro here for the jungle of Ruddy, burning to a crisp and excellently juggled. Built is able to get his first kill of the game.
Yeah, his flash getting used just slightly too early in that fight, meaning that he is going to get taken out there. And that's a decent play coming out from the side of Ruddy. However, he does have to teleport to get back, so it isn't going to amount to much at the start of things. But they are going to be able to kill him again. That's where the big damage is going to come.
Nulu, gravity well, flashing forwards, the late roam, unfortunately for the Braum. Just a moment away from saving his mid's life. He does avenge him, however, and with the TP back in, wave to pick up. It is a lovely play out of Alex, but answered in kind.
Yeah, after everything that's happened, even though we did get the first kill in this game, it is going to be almost dead even in gold now. 2 kills apiece, and it's on both solo laners, Built and Alt X, doing a very good job in these lanes. And we talked about this before. Ruddy need to find these early leads, especially when they got themselves all winning lanes except for bot lane, and they are really showing up here. However, good job to Nativz, most importantly Shari Katami, to find that good roam to try and counteract it.
Yep, able to answer in kind and make sure that the A, wave can't be pushed in, and B, pick up the avenging kill. So, yes, plays made on both sides, but nothing backbreaking so far.
Yeah, everybody is going to be quite comfortable with how this game has been going, as we are starting to notice a little bit of a trend of having Natty Nat in this top side, trying to get himself a little bit more pressure and constantly looking to just dive top lane, as we will see Built just constantly pushing up these big waves, trying to go for that dive. However, JQ will get spotted on a ward here.
Might be a bit of vision here as he's trying to finish off those chickens we talked about. Lurking so far, just trying to wind his way in, and with wave in a terrible spot for Smurfy. No 6, no flash this time. Just a matter of Built being able to catch up, flashing forward, but the harpoon does not land. No slow, no problem. Smurfy absorbs that one.
Yeah, but take a look, the jungler of JK is coming.
Is so far trying to play the 2 versus 2, able to find 2 sweet spots, flash in, and Natty Nat is away from this fight and finished off with the last tick. Jakey here to cover his man, and the 2v2 supremacy goes the way of Nativz. Vault Breaker on in, passive, one more sweet spot, but not quite enough 3-hit passive. Vi will push in, and it is supremacy for the Nativz 2v2.
This is actually really big from the side of Nativz, because if they weren't able to get the kill here, or even stop a lot of this, there's a possibility
Off the wave.
for Ruddy.
Here comes the World Ender. Aatrox finishing the job on his own, covered by his Vi. Are you going to want to take this fight here, Xin? Sweet spot connecting, number 1, number 2, Q coming up soon for the Vi. The chase down for Xin, and the mids cannot join as Nulu picks up a kill of his own. Run, Xin, run. The jungle does not belong to you.
Yeah, he's going to smite it away, so we'll be able to pick that as bot lane.
Maybe the hat trick so far is every lane gonna pick up a fight, cleanse away from the Varus, hooking back in, the Unbreakable absorbing what it can, but it's not enough. Silky's math knocks down Braum. Rusty Sniper must retreat. Remember, no hook as it was used on Braum, but still, scrap the hat trick all the way across the board. 3 lanes, 3 fights.
Yeah, having armor boots, think they was going to be tanky enough in that fight. However, there was a full minion wave striking him down, to Shai Katami will be getting taken out on that. But overall, that is going to be a big win from the side of Nativz, as they basically negated everything that Ruddy wanted to do in this early game. They've made sure that top lane can stabilize a little bit, as Smurfy will be a little bit more comfortable now he's hit that level 6 mark. And even mid lane, I don't even know what happened, but finding that solo kill.
Yeah, I would love to be able to take another look at it, because my eyes were on minimap saying, okay, Nulu boxed out, he can't join, this will be a 2v2. And then I saw the pop-up on the bottom right of, well, maybe there's an even better reason Alex can't join.
Yeah, and that's the biggest issue with playing something like the Irelia in the mid lane, because you need to have a winning lane, otherwise they are just going to constantly outscale you as top side.
However, Rumble under fire, he does have his equalizer if he looks to burn the wave, because there's no way out. Smurfy picks up another in the mid lane. There will be a second. Nulu grabs Alex for the second time of the game, I believe, and he's sitting 2-1-2, top 2-1-2, and Nativz starting to go off to the races here.
Yeah, 2,000 gold lead already accumulated for them, as we have 2 kills both to the top jungle and mid lane, with good roams coming out from Shai Katami. And remember, as this game started, we were talking about, as wait a second, Natty
Natty can be face checking into the Vi, the Victor laser to contribute as well. Six, assist, and deceased is here if they even need it. They will not so far. Onto the Rumble, they turn 3 versus 1. Here comes the Aurelia to try and turn it around and picking up onto the Vi. Now it is Alex battling 2 versus 1. She has the double buff, she has the passive stacked, and the auto starting to sting, finishes them off. Liking those odds, Alex stands and turns, turning a play the way of Ruddy.
Yeah, that's going to be a big kill coming over to Alice. Going to be able to finish off that first item when they find the reset after pushing out this wave. And that's a lot of gold into their pockets. So if they want to get back into the game, I think it all has to be towards their mid lane and trying to play around that. Because I'm not going to lie, this top side is not going the way that Ruddy was hoping.
Not at all. Built, this is the issue, right? When you pick up a lane bully and you go ignite to double down, you win hard, you lose hard. And right now, Jakey is ensuring that you are swinging the way of the ladder.
Yeah, as this has already been 9 minutes into the game, I'm surprised no dragons have been taken. There's just been so much fighting in the top side. Both these AD carries have been quite happy in this bot lane. But the thing I'm most curious about is a Braum is out roaming a Blitzcrank.
So far, every recall, this is the sign of a solid support, right? This is something you love to see of just a cover, right? We saw it almost work out on that very first move. Then it does work out the second or third try he makes it. Of just letting his presence be known. You know, maybe a word here, maybe a spell there, lurking in wait to see, look, if Natty Nat has to pick up the bait, here's the Braum, here's the Blitz, yanking him not quite underneath the tower aggro, but they will finish him off all the same. Alex goes on a killing spree. Vi looking to try and turn this one around. Here comes the Xin ultimate to knock back, but with the Rumble en route, Nativz must retreat.
Yeah, Vi did have the ultimate available to try and help out. Jaikatami was only level 5 himself. That is the reason he will be getting taken out. Did have the flash available, so maybe saving that for the next fight coming up very soon. But with how everything has been going, it's just been getting scrappy. Both of these teams trying to outplay each other, as we could see in the mid lane.
They are going to be continuing to scrap back and forth. First stack of concussive blows will land. Cannon Minion will unfortunately drop a heartbreaker to mids everywhere, as Nulu cannot grab that one up.
Yeah, Nulu not going to be able to grab that up. And that is probably the worst feeling you can have as any laner in this game, because that is just so much of the gold just taken away by just a small little auto attack. We do see a pushing wave.
Let's hook underneath the structure. Lovely look from Edvard. Means Rusty Sniper is down.
Yeah, should be able to pick up a tower plate or two onto the AD carry of Silky Maps. They're going to be pretty happy with that, as we do have the Rift Herald already spawning. Braum will be roaming up, but they got first move on the side of Ruddy, so they're just going to have to give it for now.
Yep, they do have Built wandering his way in constantly. You see him constantly in that topside river. Again, just poking his head in, see if he's required, and then walk back to grab the wave with no repercussions.
Yeah, but the biggest issue is because they have prio in towards this mid lane, they can just wait for the waves to start pushing into them, and that's the opportunity for Nativz to be picking up all 3 of these Void Grubs. It's going to be very useful for their comp, especially on Smurfay on the side lane, with all the roaming coming up with Built as well.
Another Blitz hook lands onto a laner. Nulu will fall. Traded back, however, from the move of the bot lane. Rusty Sniper will assist his mid, and it ends up being a 1-for-1.
Yeah, but most importantly, a 600 gold shutdown going over towards Nulu in this mid lane. Going to be able to get himself a little bit more damage, as Jake is just constantly looking for this top side, not actually noticing that the build isn't here yet. But if they're able to stop him from getting this tower, or getting towards this tower, they might be able to take the whole thing.
You see the Rumble making his trek on the minimap. Might be walking into a trap here, as you see Vi not recalling, not moving, not flinching, here to just try and send it with the cease and desist. And here comes his top flash away from the Yordle in his mech, as he is not allowed anywhere near that structure.
Yeah, even though they weren't able to pick up the kill, there's still a very good play from the side of Nativz, because it means that he has no farm, has no XP, and Nativz are just so tanky on this bot side. They should be able to defend this tower together.
Zinzao is trying to bully on out in kind. When you see your jungle on the enemy side of the map, bot lane doing the respectful thing. They tried to cover his camp, couldn't do that, but they can retreat without further casualties.
Yeah, but take a look at topside again. We just see that he can't get anywhere near this tower.
Murphy kills him!
Nativz.
The World Ender just straight up massacring Built here, and he is down yet again. No rest for the Wicked topside.
Yeah, and as all this is happening, Nativz are just completely fine in this bot lane, showing the prowess of picking up this Braum on support. Means that when you try and go for this dive, even if you do kill the Braum, they're actually still going to be alive and safe. That's why they didn't want to go for this pick, and Nativz just get an even bigger lead. They got themselves 1,000 gold.
1,000 gold up, and also not all kills are created equal, right? Who would you rather knock down? Shall we? Or Built?
I would say a Built, making sure that he can't play the game as you see the topside tower, but Smurfy in danger.
Playing the game, does have flash if he needs to get away from this duet here. Alex trying to play those daggers. Very nice angled flash plus E. Not flashing in a straight line. Getting away from that second dagger means that ult and flash will be used here. Another hook underneath the structure, and Edward, the last tower shot underneath the tower will go Ruddy, as they will answer back with one, but 2 dead from the side of Nativz.
Edward should be a solo laner with how many kills it's been able to get on this Blitzcrank. However, Ruddy being able to pick up the kill onto the top laner of Smurfy does mean this tower is going to go down. Silky Math does need to be careful here as he is in a 2v1 situation.
Yep, slow connecting here from that volley underneath the tower, ditching the aggro with the flash. The piercing arrow connects, trying to absorb as best as he can. 80s down, TP used. Elsewhere on the map, they continue to push and push and push, but Alex not there in time to cover his laner.
Yeah, teleport is going to be expended, pushing out this wave. I'm going to be curious to see if any of these teams have an opportunity to try and take the dragon, because it is going to be a 3 versus 3 if they want to. The smite will have to come through to Jakey, as Edward, he is going to be an annoying pass to go against on this Blitzcrank.
Absolutely a nuisance here, as he's continuing to use the structures to his advantage. I believe that's 3 different carries yanked underneath the Ruddy towers as completely against their will.
Not having a good time at all. As Edward's actually gone for quite a unique build on this Blitzcrank, trying to make it where his allies do have a little bit more damage, meaning if he does find that hook, they may find a kill.
That. Trying to lead on in with that audacious charge here. Rumble ult in the corridor is beautiful, cooking them where they stand. Nulu down to half HP is able to finish it off on the right-hand side. Smurfy focused down and burnt to a crisp. Vi liking their chances, able to pick up once more. Here comes the Ashe with the slows, the Utel on deck. Vi to finish the job here with the assistance of the team. Ace for Nativz, 15 minutes into the game.
Yeah, only one member has to die for that. Is going to be Smurfy. It was looking so good from the side of Ruddy. They wanted to try and go for this engage, because remember, this team is built to find these engages onto one of the carries and go for the team fight afterwards. However, Nativz doing a good front to back, making sure that Ruddy, Sniper, Nulu never had any threat of dying there. So they're able to turn that fight, get themselves the dragon, and can even pick up mid and maybe even bot lane tower, pushing this just to such a big lead of 3,000.
Yep, they were challenged to a fist fight early, and they were up to the call. Now the strats start to build. Now the farm begins to matter. And like you said, it's all well and good hitting Shoddy. All well and good hitting Smurfy, but if it's not Nulu, it's not Sniper, it's not looking good.
It's really not going to be looking good for you, as Edward does want to start up this Rift Herald. He does have the team there to support him. However, Nativz are going to be a very close by, so I'm not sure how much you really want to try and contest this. As Nulu has built Death Cap in 16 minutes. This man is going to hurt like a truck if you're a squishy champion on the side of Ruddy. And as I'm looking at all of this, I believe there's 4 members that he can almost one-shot at this point.
He is certainly approaching that territory. Once you see those Hextech evolutions coming through, that Victor passive, the laser pops, the faster Chaos Storm. We see lurking in the bush. 2 versus 4, though. They were spotted out and sacrificed. Braum will be picked off. Great vision control. Chains of Corruption, meaning a little, but not much at the end of the play, is now the River firmly in control already.
Yeah, and having the flash available onto Alex, who can get into the back line.
Oh, here comes the damage out of the Rumble. Equalizer able to finish 1 and the shutdown onto 2. Jungle AD picked off by the top laner Ruddy.
Yeah, now Bill, we were talking about how he was getting kind of decimated in this early game, having just so much attention coming down to getting him out of the game. With that double kill, now has 5 to his name, should be pretty close to 1.5 item, and he's got himself right back into it, very close to that level 11, where that Inferno is going to start dealing a lot more damage. And it feels like Nativz, they made a really good play, and then they just absolutely squandered it by just getting picked off 3 times.
Yeah, it was a lovely little lurk that began, but they must have been seen going into that brush. There's no way that they just grouped up as 4 and walked in. I didn't catch the vision itself, but trying to lurk with 2 and collapsed on with 4, there was no way out. Just dump your Braum, no biggie. But then in the mid lane, like you said, overconfidence perhaps, just a little bit over ambitious trying to get that mid control. They still have 2.5 minutes on Drake, so pump the brakes a moment, you scale great, and get back to it.
Exactly, that's the positive part about this team. They have a gold lead and they do scale better into this game, especially this victory of Nulu, who does still have those 2 items, can be very menacing if they do find this good team fights. They will be trying to push out these waves and then just constantly just trying to farm up as much as possible until the next dragon in 2 minutes.
Yep, beginning to start to group up, start to cluster here. You see pairs, you see trios, as Nativz are going to continue to walk around holding hands, making sure no one can be isolated by this Ruddy Esports team.
Yeah, we will have to see if Ruddy Esports can try and find these picks, because Edvard has been doing great again them under these towers, but it's so crucial to find that pick before a major team fight, because so far with 2 Drakes to their name, they can just wait longer and longer. But these side lanes are going to become a major issue from the side of Nativz the longer the game goes as well, mostly because of Alex on this side lane, because the longer this game goes, I don't think there's anyone that can really contest him there.
Maybe not. Smurfette can probably hold just due to the style of champion. However, what is not going to be held is this mid tower. Shelly charge into it with all of the extra grubbling assistance. Means that Ruddy will pick up that mid T1, an all-important bastion of safety that is going to be knocked down a minute before Drake.
Oh, and this is actually a very interesting play coming out from Natty. Now, he knows that if it goes towards the mid lane, it's going to instantly die. So instead, placing it down towards the bot side, meaning one of the players on Nativz needs to come down. Otherwise, it will get himself a Rift Herald charge. We'll have to see if Smurfette is close enough, because I think he might be able to grab it.
It should be
minions.
knocked down by the creeps. Yeah, there was a little bit distracted here. Not eye on the ball for the side of this Rift Herald, getting hung up on the minions and not getting the crash. But yes, cheeky plays, driving that one nicely from Nativz.
Yeah, because there's actually a play that a lot of teams do. Whenever they have the Baron, they try and use the Rift Herald, of course, towards the mid lane, get themselves that tower, and then they can place it towards one of the other ones, so then they can change it around where they can get these outer towers. It's a side that I haven't seen a lot, but can be very interesting indeed from one of these teams. But we do have a major objective up in 10 seconds time. Nativz, they need to get themselves in there soon if they want to try and contest them. Flashes are available for Nulu and Rusty Snipers. They are looking very good for this fight.
My eyes are on this Blitzcrank, however. He's been able to find a couple X-Factor plays so far. As they jockey for position of the river, Built is forced to flash away. Chains of Corruption go wide here, meaning AD carry does not have peel for himself. Able to connect that Braum Q onto the enemy support. They burn him down. X-Factor has been executed as Edvard will be finished off.
Yeah, they were trying to look for these slight plays around the side, however, not finding that major engage they truly needed, so allowing Nativz to find this back to front five.
Nativz going for a cheeky steal and paying for it with his life. I see a worm on the table, Zath.
Yeah, and that is going to be huge for them. Maybe trying to go in for that still, but not noticing. If he dies here, Baron is going to be easily taken from the side of Nativz, unless there's going to be a contention, but there's no way they could do anything against this, as Baron should be secure from the side of Nativz. And it's just something we've seen from the side of Nativz, especially yesterday as well. They are just so good at team fighting. They just never lose them.
Trying to play bodyguard here so far as they continue to work away at Para Nasher. Equalizer onto the Ashe, trying to fly their way forwards, trying to split calls here. We have 3 on one side, 2 on the other. A Blitzcrank hook onto the front line. The DPS flies in. They will secure the worm, but now the fight on the tail end. Smurfette won't die. The slows will fly, and it is going to be Nativz getting everything they want and more. Continuing to charge forwards is Aatrox. Passive auto, sweet spots, everything you could wish. as Nativz just obliterate Ruddy Esports in the Baron fight.
Yeah, Flash does get Silky out of there. However, it just doesn't matter. This gold lead's got up to that 5,000k mark. Got Baron on the table. Should be able to pick up this mid lane wave as well. As this team is just starting to outscale the way that Ruddy Esports wants to play.
Just a single flinch, just a single moment where you get caught out of position or get a little bit too cute with it around the Dragon Pit, and all of a sudden, you're staring at 5k gold lead, you're staring at 3 Drakes, Baron on top of it all, and Nativz just in complete control.
Yeah, complete control indeed. Already, or getting very close to those 3 items on every member on the side of Nativz compared to only having 2 on everyone on the side of Ruddy, except for that AD carry. And he hasn't even finished off his mana item. He still needs a little bit more. That's how far ahead Nativz are in this game. However, with this Baron available, I do expect them to maybe go for a 1-4 comp, making sure to have the Ashe, Braum, and Victor all clumped up together, feeling nice and safe, and allowing Smurfette in one of these side lanes just to have the pressure of the Baron minions to try and push.
Push, push, push away, trying to knock down these structures, as they do have 4 to their name so far, but plenty more standing gold to be grabbed up. Chains Corruption flying sideways, and Silky's math! AD carry versus Mage. This ain't the season for you, bud. Just 1 tap by Nulu.
I said when they get to the 3 item mark, they are going to be one-shotting, and indeed they did. Silky Math, enjoy that grey screen for 30 seconds. There's nothing you could do against a Victor when he is this far ahead, as they will be trying to push into this base, trying to get themselves the first inhibitor.
Baron creeps at their back. This is Nativz trying to pick up gold and very little standing in their way. Eyes on Edward if he can find something sneaky onto one member, picks a creep instead, and loses in him.
Yeah, Rusty doesn't have flash available, so there was a small chance as
Alex trying to step away from the sweet spots, queuing back into the fight, but finished off by the pair of solos. Alex down, Silky's math was 1-tapped, and it feels like the momentum is building to a climax.
Yeah, and the top laner of Smurfette being 7-3, there's no way you can take him on your own, as Alex will get taken out there. As Baron is most likely going to be finishing off in the next couple seconds. We do have Dragon spawning in about 1.5 minutes, and I'm expecting Nativz to be playing for that, because there's no reason to try and push your lead even further when you can just be a little bit more comfortable, to try and farm up as much as possible until this next fight, as we already got 3 items onto the mid lane. Again, so close to getting 3 items onto your AD.
Also worth noting, just due to the pace of this game, we haven't been able to check in on what has been being built, considering I'm looking at a kill a minute on just one team. Experimental Hexplate, if I'm remembering the name correctly, gives you ultimate haste and attack speed when you're ulted, and Smurfette is pretty much unkillable when he's ulted. So your solution to this problem is what exactly, Mr. Analyst?
Don't fight him, fight everyone else on the team. That is my recommendation. And maybe just leave him to get the towers, because you know you can't fight him. At least that's the decision Ruddy has made, as they are going to be able to pick up another tower. We'll be resetting for this Drake, and I would actually love Hextech Plate to be built on something like the Ashe, because it has everything she wants. Has, you know, cooldown reduction on the ultimate, has ability haste when she needs it, has HP because AD carries just die in an instant, and damage. I'm just saying, it should be built.
Yeah, you could. I will give you that one. We are approaching Skarner build territories at that point, if we're trying to itemize Ashe as if she is a bit bruisery. However, it's recentering, refocusing. This may be a last stand for Ruddy here as they try and fight 9k HP on the Drake. Can they even find their way in? Edward's able to pick up Nulu, the victor in enemy lines, forcing a fight here as they will try their best to burn him down, but the damage is not available. Blitzball, Xin does too. They get him, but at what cost? It is up to Silky's math to try and fire away, but he is collapsed on the lines, fall apart, and Nativz claim the fight. Triple kill to Braum of all people. They will not be denied, and the game is in their clutches.
The carry, the best member of the team, Shari Katami, coming up with a triple kill. That damage is deceiving. He clearly was the key member there.
Rumble puts up a noble effort but falls all the same. And in 28 minutes, Nexus turrets will be mashed on. Edward's hook goes wide, but it is the fear put into the side of Nativz for just a moment, who are forced out of Ruddy's base but claim everything in tow.
I'm surprised they're so scared. Did you see that Braum damage in the last fight? He could take these on 2 versus 1, as they are going to be running away, most likely getting ready to take this dragon very shortly. However, Natty Nat is going to be looking, has the flash available if he wants to get on top of everyone. But the big issue is he doesn't have the damage to go for one of these 1v1s.
This is a long chase for the jungle support combination, and it ends with a hard stop. Chains of Corruption onto the Vi here for this Varus. Seats and assist on the mid. It is a front to back. Maybe they trade one in kind here for Alex, but even that is saved by the Locket. Double kill for Marksman. Silky's math must run for his life, but it will be tragically cut short at the hands of the Aatrox. As Nativz are just padding at this point, give them the second ace, give them the game, and the Nexus all.
What a way to end week 2 with 2 good victories against pretty solid teams in Division 1.
Absolutely. Nexus falls at 29 flat, and GG's. Nativz picks up the win.
That bad? Not a bad game, huh? Not a
Not
bad game at all. Nativz doing pretty well. When I got contacted by them saying, do you want to cast for us? I was like, are you talking about the team in NLC? I guess so, because they are looking like it, being 3-1 now in the standings. And confidence is definitely building for this team. So I feel like their early games are still a little bit shaky, a few mistakes coming out. However, once they start getting mostly to this middle late game, that is where the burners are on, and they start finding these big team fights where they're just constantly just taking the wins from.
Absolutely. And this is the moment where you kind of just take a gut check, like these instant reactions. Where are your eyes drawn? Big moments, turning points that come to mind for you.
Well, the big turning points is really difficult to say, but I would probably say top side, because remember, Jakey wasn't having a very good time trying to help up the top laner of Smurfay. When he was up there, he was, kind of losing, already got killed by that tower dive. But when that flip turned and they were able to find a kill onto the Ruddy's top side, they just kind of didn't get their foot off the gas. They just kept going, kept diving him, and then that Rumble was so far behind, they were able to move towards the mid lane, move towards bot side. And by the time I looked again, we had like a 3,000 gold lead, had 3 Drakes to our name, and then the Nexus just exploded.
Absolutely. It also did feel like I can actually translate that point into one exact moment. The bot side Tribrush fights around the kind of red side jungle, like leading into Gromp. I saw a Rumble ultimate laid in a choke versus 3. And in my head, Ash, I'm so sorry for your loss. You are just effectively wiped out at that point. And then it kind of took like half HP off. Ash battled her way forwards, and there was no translation, right? There's no paying it forwards, thanks to the efforts of keeping Rumble down. So it's that league butterfly effect, right?
Yeah, and one thing I actually really want to talk a lot about is how well this team has synergized together, because Shari Katami and Jakey, who haven't ever played together before, see how many times they just push out bot lane, allow Shari Katami to move first, meaning whenever they take a fight, they always have the numbers advantage, which means maybe it looks so good because they have the numbers advantage, but they just constantly keep winning these big team fights.
Yeah, and I do want to kind of reframe this almost a little bit of Ruddy understood their game plan, right? Ruddy understood, gotta get in, gotta scrap, gotta kind of keep the pace up, keep that gas pressed, or you're gonna run out of steam. So there were ambitious plays, there were moments where they actually even beat out the play, but just weren't able to keep up. Just ran out of steam, and eventually were just overtaken by Natives.
Yeah, you're completely correct about that. However, we
Well,
do have a beautiful man with us. Shwari Katami, how are we?
hello, thanks for asking. I'm good. What about you?
I'm doing good. I want to say a big congratulations on that triple kill. As a support main myself, you really just carried that team fight.
Yeah, like support doesn't mean always assist. Like you need to get kills also for kill the teams.
Yeah, that's the confidence we like to see. But no, this game went super well for you. My main question actually was one thing I've noticed about your gameplay is you absolutely love to just constantly roam. You want to leave Rusty Sniper on his island, want to make sure that he is able to stay defensively sound there. But is there anything that makes you different to allow you to have so many roaming opportunities?
I mean, like, how can I say? Like, it's about gameplay, you know? Like, they are playing Irelia, so, like, it was so basic. What does Irelia do? That's he just jump in on our mid lane, and I just cover him, you know? And then, like, we just scale and get a free win.
That's the confidence, a free win. See, you might not have been able to see it as you were prepping, but Zath and I were predicting a guaranteed 5 point win on this front. So I love the confidence on that front. Do you have like a kind of, you were talking about draft Aurelia being the focus on that front. Is there anything that really threw you off about what they were playing, or did you kind of look down their champions, go, oh, I've got this one solved already, just basically from draft?
Yeah, like, how can I say? Our comp is like basically it was front to back, and like they were playing so much BD champion. So like I mean Brown was fitting there, and I just pick it, you know. And like to be honest, in game, like with draft, like it was so easy, I guess. Like it feels so comfort to play.
Yeah, and that's
Comfortable.
go on.
I was just saying comfortable picks, but something that you know how to pilot and know how to pilot against. So the fitting one. Zap.
Yeah, I was just going to say, confidence is really just booming in this team because of having so many players who do have veteranry status. Even Smurfay being only 19-year-old, he's played for a lot of teams. So do you think that's helped you having a little bit more veterancy to really be able to just pick a draft that you're kind of comfortable with and just execute it easily?
I mean like I don't know. I'm not sure about that. Like players are feeling comfort and like in team comms, like as friendships, we are so close. Like in the there legit there is zero toxicity in team, and like I think that helps to us. Yeah.
Absolutely. And can you kind of almost pull that back a little bit? You're talking about teams getting on both as both players and people. Is there something that kind of sticks out to you about this native squad in particular, or working for natives in this split? I know this is only week 2, but is there anything that's really kind of sets you guys apart, I suppose?
I'm not sure. Like I mean, like there is a just good synergy, I guess.
Good
Mm.
synergies amongst players. It seems like it translates on stage anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm liking how positive everybody is behind the scene. But the real question is, what do you do when you don't play League of Legends? We've heard before from Rusty Sniper about the incredible McDonald's speed runs. I've heard behind the scenes as well about how interesting he said some of these talks were with people like us. What do you do when you're not playing League of Legends?
I mean, like I have a really big family, so like when I'm not on PC or League of Legends, I'm just having fun with them. I'm hanging out outside, like we have garden. I'm just chilling out with my cats. Legit, I have so much cats. I'm looking for them. That's it.
Wait, how many cats?
Like I have inside one home cat, and like there is outside I think five in my garden.
Hmm. Awesome. So the cats, the family, the team flying along and putting you so far 3-1, starting off, I'm sure as you would have liked. And as you move forwards into spring split, is there anything that you're particularly looking for from this one out of this split in general, like meaning for you as a player, considering you've have progressed your way up the ranks and have been around the scene for a while? This split in particular, what's kind of sticking out about it?
Like I think every normal player, of course, I wanna be champion in league. Like with that also, I'm still improving myself. In competitive game like solo queue. Like maybe you already understand my English is not so good, so I'm still
I know.
working on that too. So that's it, I guess.
No, absolutely.
Everything.
Working well. The English is absolutely flying along. 2 banger interviews back to back. But as you take away the W, I am going to be able to let you go celebrate. We are going to be sliding into that watch party that we mentioned, so don't go anywhere. that is going to wrap it up for this game for this week. We will be starting this all over again next Wednesday, Thursday as well. More details to be posted, but shall we? I won't hold you up any longer. Congratulations on the win, and go ahead and slip on into that for anyone that else wants to kind of follow up.
Uh, I don't know what to say, to be honest.
Any final words for fans before you drop into the monkey cage that can be that voice call?
Excuse me,
Okay.
it is top quality. Thank you.
I
Anything for
mean,
the fans before you go?
follow the Nativz, like social media, follow us, support us. Maybe like in finals, I want to hear everyone to cheer for us. So that's it.
Yeah, make your voices heard. Make sure you're keeping involved. Awesome stuff here. Thank you very much. We are going to be kicking over to Joseph and I to wrap it up, but thank you very much. Congratulations once more, and we'll see you again next week.
Okay. Thanks. Thanks for like this call. See you.
See you. See you. Bye. 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 So, we have unfortunately come to the end of our very first
Unfortunate.
week 2 for the NLC, but our very first week. Any closing thoughts before we just send this one off and we all hop into that second NLC game?
You know what? It just feels good. It feels good to be back. It feels good to be with a decent org. People who are just so lovely behind the scenes. I mean, some of these players that we've got to talk to, absolute gems of people. If you aren't following them, make sure to do, because they have some incredible career trajectories going up. I'm ready to see them in NA. I'm ready to see them in LCS. I'm ready to see them in EU. I'm ready to see them absolutely everywhere. But for me personally, it's just been a blast these last 2 days.
Absolutely. Been a good time. The reunion for you and I is obviously even sweeter, but like you said, thank you guys for being the ones to make this happen behind the scenes. Obviously, the production obviously gets our shout out. Celtic making this happen behind the scenes, keeping everything running. To you guys, the viewers, the fans, we are going to be jumping on into that watch party in just a moment. So for the end of week 2, the end of the second game, from Zath and I, thank you very much, and we'll see you guys next week, same time, same place. Eye on those socials. Good night, guys, and have a good one. Take care.
Open eye, feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies, only you can make me move.